Welcome to Man to Hand. I'm your host, Christopher Sneed, and today I'm here with Chandler Jackson. He is here to talk about puppetry and introduce us to one of his own this evening. Chandler, how are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Is that a genuine I'm fine, or is that a,
It's
truly?
Yes.
It's truly, okay. You should be, because you recently had some good news.
Thank you.
You want to tell us about the news?
Yes. I was recently admitted into an invitation-only workshop at Sesame Workshop, which is the nonprofit that produces Sesame Street, to learn the art of puppetry from some of the resident puppeteers, some of the Muppet performers at Sesame Workshop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the Muppets. I mean, whether you still watch them or watch them as a child, the Muppets are a staple in American history, I think it's safe to say.
Yes.
How did you, well, first let's do this. Let's get a little background on you. Tell us about you, Chandler Jackson.
Gosh. Well.
But leave out anything that would get us an R rating, please.
Leaves out all of the mid 2000s. So, not much to say. Childhood and nothing interesting, normal, raising, nice family. My parents are still together. I have two older siblings. Moved to Enid in 2006, and it wasn't until 2011 that I started working with the Gaslight, started doing some local theater stuff. I've always been artistic and I've been drawing and doing puppetry and random things forever. and not a whole lot. I've always been interested in puppetry and just any artistic outlet I can kind of use to blow off some steam.
Now, rumor has it that you were actually born a puppet.
Yes.
And then, after many requests for you to turn into a real boy.
Lots of surgeries. Defleecing.
I imagine. It looks like it turned out well, though.
Yes.
I don't see any signs of the...
Every once in a while, I randomly go, yay, like that. But that's, I think I'll have to deal with that the rest of my life. I've learned to live with it.
Does it startle your family when you do that?
Yes. Especially when I introduce Steve Martin as the next guest host of the Muppet Show.
Yeah. Troubling. See, your past isn't as clean as you wanted us to believe.
That's right. I was a wild and crazy guy.
How did you hear about the call for submissions?
This is extremely nerdy and might tell something of myself. I learned about it from toughpigs.com. Which is a Muppet fan website, news about the upcoming movies and whatnot, and yeah.
That's a relief.
Yes.
I didn't know what toughpigs.com was going to turn into. So.
Yes. Keeping that G to PG rating.
Good.
Not talking about other.
So you found it on the website and put together your video submission.
Yes, there were certain qualifications that the video audition had to meet. Had to be under 3 minutes. Had to include a song. Had to introduce yourself, various things, and with the help of yourself, this, the people at home, filling you in. Chris helped me put together a little video, and obviously it was successful. I was accepted.
And how long did it take us to do the video?
You tell me. How long was that? We were like, yeah, or I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go film this today. It's gonna be, put it together. It's gonna be great. And then we got like all of one thing done. One specific. We got all of our actor. I was playing opposite a gentleman who was playing off the puppet, and we got all of his stuff done the first night. And Chris was like, yeah, well, we'll get the rest tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow? It's gonna take 2 days. Wow, this is intense. And the next day, well, we got some of the puppet stuff, and I did it end up being, what, 4 days, 5?
Probably five, close to,
nights?
yeah. of being up here every night
Yes.
for at least 2 or 3 hours.
And then
each
a
night.
very intense, sweaty, about 2 hours of, I'll
Were
leave a
you-
long pause, of editing together.
Oh, yes, yes.
Kind of, we were kind of down to the wire because we had all this footage and all these fun jokes and things we loved, and then we had like a 7-minute cut, and we're like, got to get 3 minutes out of this. We have.
How did you? What is the name of the puppet that auditioned? That was in the audition tape.
Well, the character's name was Mr. Puppet.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to the idea behind the character, the name comes from two things. One, no matter I have a bunch of younger cousins,
Mm-hmm.
little kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, and age is not 9 of them.
Oh, okay.
And they, no matter what puppet I would ever, entertaining them, just kind of puppets. No matter what the character was, they would just refer to it as Puppet, or hey, Mr. Puppet. They would, even if I had some stupid name, this is so and so, they would do, hey, come on, Puppet, come on, Mr. Puppet. So I thought, that's kind of fun. Let's have a puppet who's just kind of the every puppet. It's just a puppet.
And we'll be seeing him before this show's over. You kind of told us a little bit about the workshop. Where's the workshop?
It's in New York City. It's right smack dab. It's on Broadway. It's right in the middle of the thick of
Wow.
everything. Which is, I've never been to New York. It's gonna be crazy.
It will be. Because have you lived anywhere that big before?
No,
or-
I've lived in I've lived in some bigger cities in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
but never outside Dallas and some place. But never, no. I've lived a lot more rural places than I have
Yeah.
big.
And you'll be there for how many days? How many days is the workshop?
I'll be there for a week. Also, we'll have a few days to do some touristy stuff. It's
Sure.
actually, the workshop is going to be very intensive and very direct. It's going to be 3 days. It's going to be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of February. It's going to
Okay.
be very, very, I think it's going to be a number of hours each day, just really working hard.
Now, did they pay for the workshop? Did they pay for your
Yes.
travel?
Not travel. All expenses are paid for the workshop itself.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think they might do lunch
Okay.
in the middle, but
But you've got to do
yes.
everything else, the room and board.
getting there,
and-
room and board, all
Okay.
that stuff. Which
Wow.
is it's a pretty fair, invitation only
Oh,
workshop.
sure.
Basically, like Puppet College in 3 days, as
Right.
opposed, yeah.
Yeah, because the opportunity is
Yes, yeah.
something that
Yes.
rarely
Being
happens,
able
isn't
to
it?
put on my resume, Sesame trained
Yeah.
puppeteer is, it's going to be.
Absolutely. So have you raised any of the money yet?
I've raised
Good.
with some very generous donations from some very, generous friends and family.
Are you done?
I've raised, no,
No?
I still have a bit to raise
Okay.
as of yet, but
Okay.
but I'll get there.
Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
What's the hardest thing about puppeteering?
Gosh, I'll go for a strange answer. It's, aside from the technical aspects, I feel that one thing that it's hard as a puppeteer is not being pegged as like a children's performer or just kind of a goofy.
You want to be an adult performer?
Oh, yes.
Is that-
an adult puppet show?
Ah,
That's called man to hand. No. It's one thing that Jim Henson struggled a lot with his career, especially after first getting Sesame Street as a job. Being interested in doing some, not specifically for adults with puppets, but the idea of, reaching kind of, not having to talk down to kids and not having to teach the alphabet with,
Right.
or the exact, kind of the opposite of that, something like Jeff Dunham or something that's very adult and very not, or Avenue Q or something, finding kind of that happy medium in between and not being pegged in one specific area is
Right.
something that's kind of difficult to get by. You're either expected to have one extreme or the other.
That's true, because all of the Muppet programming and the Muppet movies, I mean, even Sesame Street, it always appealed to different ages.
Yep.
It always had something in there, and that's That's true. I guess that's where he carved his niche, isn't it? Jim Henson.
Jim Henson. Yes.
Who is he?
Who is Jim Henson? Well, if you turn to page 36 of Jim Henson, the biography, written by Brian J. Jones. No, that's an actual book, by the way. It's a very good book. If you want to know, get in depth of.
I saw that. I like the cover too.
Yes, it is a good cover. Jim Henson, gosh, obviously, probably the inspiration for every puppeteer working right now. Jim Henson really took the art form of puppetry to a whole new realm and medium. If you look at, Jim Henson started, he applied for an ad for a puppeteer on his local television show. They said, hey, we want a puppet show. We'll give you the airtime. Puppeteers, come, and he lived in Atlanta at the time. And he built some puppets out of his mother's old coat, which was Kermit. He made Kermit just on a whim and just said, hey, I want to be on TV. He said it was a means to an end, puppetry. I wanted to be on TV, and it was just a way to get into it. And if you look at puppets on television before Henson in the early 50s, in the mid 50s, something like Kukla, Fran, and Ollie or Howdy Doody, they're all in a proscenium. They're in a box, a puppet theater on TV with someone standing next to them talking, or just a puppet inside a box.
Right.
And Henson was such a revolutionary in so many ways all throughout his career. If you look at something like The Dark Crystal, just anything he put his hands on, he was always pushing the limits. What he did with his first show, Sam and Friends, is he took the puppet and he used the frame of the camera as the puppet theater. And that way you can get very close to the character, and you can and it adds a realism to something. If you think of Kermit or Miss Piggy or something, Bert and Ernie, they exist from the waist up, and they can move, and they can go places, and they can walk across the frame, and they're not stuck in a tiny box. The box, they're in the world. They're in the same dimensions as any other person you would see on TV, and they're not relegated to a small box. And just the idea of that, any puppet, any medium on film or television with everyone does that now. And just the idea of that this young kid, originally from Mississippi, just kind of said, why are we putting puppets inside a box like this? Let's just a simple idea like that.
So he was the father of puppet liberation.
Yes.
What that
puppet suffrage.
Yes. He was the Harriet Tubman of.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not, but well, and he pushed past that later by having where you could see all of the Muppet. The famous bike riding scene in the Muppet movie, which was the first time I think anyone had seen anything like that before. It was brilliant, and he was never afraid to push past that to bring reality. All right. What is I think we sort of discussed, excuse me.
Chris.
Sorry.
I can't believe.
It happens. Ultimate goal.
Ultimate goal.
What is your ultimate goal with puppetry?
With puppetry?
Yes,
okay,
with puppetry.
so not
with my phone call.
Not to become a sun god. That's my it's my ultimate goal in life. Not that one?
Not that
no?
one. No.
Okay.
Not that one.
You will worship me one day. My ultimate goal in puppetry right now, really, I hate to say this, but it would be to one day work with the Muppet family of characters, Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo and that, and the Sesame family too. Just being able to work with that.
To get your hand right up in there.
Yes,
and
to
work with the. I got you.
See what you did there. a very hands-on experience with the Muppets, or hands-in experience.
Speaking of which, does it bother you, the idea of making a career out of constantly ramming your hand up the inside of are you okay?
Yeah.
An inanimate object?
Well, all I'll say about that, I think it would be a much different path if I was sticking my hand in animated objects. I think sticking my hand in. I'll leave it there.
Profound.
Yeah.
Profound.
You can quote me. Anyone else? You can quote me on.
Very,
You
very
can probably see my
good.
face is actually wet from that stupid joke of choking on the water.
That's all right.
That would have been amazing, and that almost stuck to the wall. That would have been.
I'm working on it. Your parents are supportive and excited for you, I'm sure.
Very, always supportive.
And what did they have any influence on your life and these goals and this, the puppetry and the? Because you do more than that. I mean, you're quite entertaining, acting, singing. You're.
Yes, very much so. In two distinct ways.
Besides giving birth to you.
Well, yes.
We don't want to go into that.
No.
Please.
August 22nd,
No.
1995.
Okay.
My parents are wonderful, and they've always. It's cliche to say, but they've always, they've watched out for me and made sure that, I've always been able to grow creatively or any way I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And one way that my parents have really influenced me is kind of pop culture wise. I'm kind of a connoisseur or a child of pop culture. I love movies, and I love, crazy old sitcoms from the 60s and random. I love just everything. Right. And especially my dad, just kind of his weird tastes in music and introducing to me to like Roger Miller and just some weird, a lot, and including the Muppets. They saw at a young age that I had an affinity for Henson's works, and I'm shocked and awed by the random askew things that we had on VHS of Henson's works. Everything from Fraggle Rock and Sesame Street to things that even, things like The Tale of the Bunny Picnic, which is a special from the 80s.
Wow.
Yes, random, Muppet Family Christmas and Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas and a whole library of things like that.
Wow.
So that's one way. And another...
That's enough.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Is your puppet obsession just a psychological manifestation of the trauma of you realizing that you can't get pregnant? Because you're a man.
Yes.
I thought so.
No. It's okay.
Come here. It's okay. I'm just going to give you a little Oprah hug. Just a little. Okay, that's enough.
You get a puppet and you get a...
We have sexual harassment laws here, so I have to be careful. That
was majestic, that one.
This isn't all just part of some plot to bring down the Muppets, is it?
I could tell you, but I would and just did kill you with the poison I put. That will... So yes, it'll take effect after the broadcast. It's...
Touché.
Yes.
Touché. I do have enough time to finish, though.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope. This depends on how long you expect to take.
We've got about 20, 30 more questions. I don't know. All right.
Got a question a minute. We got.
You have a more current project that you are planning.
Yes.
You've got the workshop that's coming up, which is, of course, a big step towards your career, but you're also planning something locally. Tell us about that.
Yes. Hopefully this is all hyperbolic right now, but hopefully sometime towards the end of the summer, shooting July or August, somewhere in there. I have a pretty packed summer before that. I'm hoping to do a small show at a local venue. I won't say the venue as of yet because I don't have it kind of pinpointed down yet. But rumor has it might rhyme with Flash Flight, Fleater.
Love
do with
Flash
that.
Flight.
Do with that what you may. It's a small, just kind of a one-act show that I've written and will hopefully be directing and producing with some local actors. It's a 3-person show, 2 actors and myself with a puppet, and it's very, very small, very short. It's just about an hour in length, and
nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something new and kind of fun, just to kind of explore that medium of live puppeteering outside of and other thing. It's not. I've done things with me behind a little proscenium doing puppets, but the idea of this is the character needs to move around and needs to go different places on this set and on the stage. So I will be in view. The puppeteer will be in view in kind of period costume. It takes place in the 60s. It's a puppet who works at a local television station on a local kids show, kind of a la Roger Rabbit. Kind of puppets and people coexist in this world, and he's a puppet on a kids show, but he's an actual person. He's a host,
Right.
and I will be in plain view with the puppet on stage throughout the whole show.
Which someone might be skeptical of, but they've made that work in so many other venues, with the Lion King being probably one of the more popular ones. Avenue Q. Because I think when the talent's there, it's easier to buy into whatever they're...
Yes, and it's very interesting not only to see the performance of the puppet. I feel, as a puppeteer, it's very interesting to see kind of the puppeteer at work. It's a very strange kind of experience, seeing kind of the strange faces and everything. You get really into the character, and because there is, there are harder things in the world to do, but there is a lot of effort that you have to put into a performance as a puppeteer. Acting with your whole body as opposed to acting just through your hand is very difficult, and it's something that hopefully I'll be able to learn from learn kind of how to hone my abilities even further my experience at the workshop.
Yeah, you took care of one of my questions actually, so that's very good. Let's see what I think you answered that one too. Yeah, that one's good. That's we took care of that one a while ago. When do we get to meet Mr. Puppet?
Would you like to?
Can we meet him now?
Yes, yeah. All right.
Meanwhile, I'll bring out my oh wait, I didn't bring one. Okay.
I'm sure anyone tuning in right now is very confused and doesn't know what's...
It's painful. Well, I immediately get Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Been in a bag all day.
Welcome, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're out.
Welcome to this very nice kind of hallway room thing.
Yeah, you can leave off nice. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, how long have you known Chandler?
A while.
A while.
A good while. He's always kind of there. He's an ever present presence in my life. He's had a big hand in everything I've done. He's elevated me to new heights in my professional career. Yeah.
I'm sure it seems like there's a lot of him in you.
Yes.
So
that's true. He's a warm-hearted and warm-handed individual, for which I'm grateful.
And you will be attending the workshop as well, correct?
Yes, I will.
Are you excited?
Yes, and also a little nervous.
Really?
Yes.
Nervous about?
I'm going to be around some very, very professional people. I'll be around the Count and Telly Monster from Sesame Street.
Wow, the biggies.
As a side note, those are the performers who perform both the Count and Telly Monster are going to be my instructors, Matt Vogel and Marty Robinson.
Oh, wow.
So that's a side note. I'm back.
Welcome.
I died for a moment, and now I'm back.
That was
I
frightening.
was dead, and I'm back.
I wasn't sure mouth to mouth would work the same with you, so we all just kind of waited a little bit.
Mouth to hand resuscitation.
Yeah, it's Is there anything that you're doing to get prepared for your trip?
I bought a lot of lotion for him to, dry hands, going to a different climate. It's gonna, don't
a good plan.
risk anything, chapping or something like that. It'd be uncomfortable. No, I'll bring along a lint brush. Maybe some packing peanuts to snack on the plane ride there.
Nice. They don't provide those on the plane?
No. They do the real peanuts, but not the packing.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What is your relationship to Chandler here?
Well, that's a very interesting place to go because it's kind of meta. It's very just I don't know. My relationship is very kind of it's man to hand is what it is. I tied it all back.
Good job.
It's all back, ladies and gentlemen.
And these are the reasons why you're getting to go to the workshop.
Yes.
Now, speaking of skin, what kind of hygiene regimen do you have? Because I would assume that a normal hygiene regimen might leave you a bit moldy, cold, wet.
Yes. I found early on that I am not machine washable. Very traumatic experience.
But you survived it.
I did.
Did you have to do any treatment?
Every so often I'm reincarnated in a new skin, a new puppet.
Really?
Yes. In fact, between the audition video I did for Sesame Workshop and now I lost a nose. I had a nose in the video and now it's gone. Wow. Talk about a nose job. I'm getting ready to be a professional actor career. I'm getting work done, surgeries.
Wow.
The first step. The first step.
Are you happy with the new look?
I am. It's very, I like it.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. Oh, that's spun. Okay.
Do you have any particular fears, dreams, hopes, or diseases?
Diseases is interesting. I have a great fear of moths. Yeah. Moths.
I understand.
See, get it? Get the joke, folks? Moths. I'm a puppet. Fabric. Anyways, no, not really.
No.
I'm a pretty normal guy. Pretty normal puppet. You're gonna throw that at me, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. Now, your part in the audition video.
Yes.
What all did you have to do? What all talents did you have to do?
I had to sing.
Okay.
I danced a little.
Oh.
I squeaked a rubber duck.
Ah.
That was hard work on my part.
Imagine.
I did some different voice work. I recited from Hamlet.
Oh, wow. It's impressive. What were some of the voices that you did?
I did a lot of voices. A lot didn't end up in the pitch reel.
That's unfortunate.
We should do a director's cut.
We should. That would be
there was
great.
quite a selection. One voice that I did, I stole from him. He in a show directed by Chris here. Chandler here performed a role in Aladdin as a camel.
Oh, yes.
And I did that voice, a very, very grating voice. The camel's voice was, "Hey there, Aladdin, how are you?"
Yeah.
It's a very,
yes, I remember that voice very
it
much.
haunts your nightmares, haunts us all.
Yes,
to this day.
Despite the counseling, I still remember the voice.
The voice of a generation, that voice. Sadly enough.
Sadly enough. So I'm assuming that you have followed the Muppets as well your whole life, and are there certain members of the Muppet family that you would like to meet?
That's a good question. I'd like to meet Fozzie Bear. I like his jokes. I'm one of the few that seems to enjoy his humor. I think it's pretty good. Let's see. The Big Bird, I find very intimidating, but lovable. And he's yellow like me. I'm yellow.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big guy. Like to meet him. You know, it'd be like if you like meeting Andre the Giant. It's just you know a big. I've never seen a bird that big. So, you know, I think it'd be shocking and an awing experience.
Especially if you had parked your car under a tree that he was in. That might be.
Think about that.
Particularly upsetting.
Splat. It would sound like that splat. It would be.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Sesame Street people don't see that part of the cut down.
It's a part of life. There's a children's book called Everybody Poops.
Oh, so there you go.
There you go. Eyes.
I don't. Did we go there?
They have medication for that. Eyes are the window to the soul.
Yes.
And your eyes are different,
to say the least.
So I assume that your soul is different.
I like that. I'm going to use that in my autobiography, and I'm not going to credit you. One thing that's very interesting is, I'll say this briefly, one thing that's very important when building a puppet, the first thing you do with the eyes, before you really do a voice or character, you make sure that the eye focus, I'll go into this instead of having the puppet say this. The eye focus is very important. Even with a puppet with one eye, if you look at a Muppet, the way it's built, there's a triangle of focus that has to happen in order for a character to really work. If you have the pupil, even I can.
Oh my gosh.
Moving it really.
Oh, that's kind of disturbing.
Even if you move it off a little bit, it's very, and you have to have it just. You have to look directly at it and make sure. Eye focus is very. That was a horrifying experience.
Yeah.
Looking over here, I was looking over there. Ugh, that was gross.
I can do the same thing. Though. Watch this. I don't want to do that. We're trying to keep this a certain rating. So, there's a trick that I would like for the two of you to perform that I've seen before.
Ventriloquism? Hey there, everybody. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Very good. There's also the famous water trick.
Oh.
You know, where drinking the water while the...
Yes.
So I'm going to drink this water while you perform some ventriloquism.
Oh.
All right, ready? We'll see if this works. We'll see how good he is.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Hey there, everybody. My name's Mr. Puppet. Woohoo, yay.
Very good. Wow, that is amazing. I think you are truly ready for Sesame Street Workshop.
I hope so.
Yes. I have no more cards, but you'll be leaving in February.
Yes, he's gonna be flying first class. I'm flying baggage.
Until you get up in the world, I guess that's...
Someday I'm hoping to become carry-on. Yeah. That's the goal. That's the dream.
I see it. I see that kind of success in you.
Thank you. That's very inspiring.
Maybe it'll trade off one day and he'll be in carry-on. But that's a whole puppet liberation thing that we haven't got to.
That sounds like I have killed him and stuffed him in a bag. And then I kind of animate myself. And that's a Stephen King novel right there.
A little bit.
That's man versus hand.
We'll have to work on that. That's not a bad idea, actually. So
I like it.
Well, aside from wrestling or doing Fight Club at the moment, or
that's the first rule. We don't speak about it.
No, but I do have Oprah Winfrey here. Oprah, can you? Oh wait, no. Okay. I want to thank both of you for... It'll get weirder if we keep going. I want to thank both of you for joining us this evening and sharing some of what you do And congratulations to your acceptance into the workshop. This is Chandler Jackson and Mr. Puppet on Man to Hand. Thank you.